So hi everyone, this is Joy, your instructor for microprocessor and interfacing. Today we are going to discuss one more example for the memory interfacing. Students, generally the questions for the memory interfacing are categorized into two types. In the first type, you will see that you are asked to interface only one memory. And those type of questions are much simpler. But in the second type, you are asked to interface more than one memory. So what you have to do and what are the things that you need to consider when you interface more than two memories will be discussed in this session. So let's read the questions that is asked to us. So it is asked that we have to draw and explain 8K byte of EEPROM and we are 8K byte of EEPROM and 4K byte of RAM. So we are asked to interface two memories. The one is one type of ROM, 8K byte of ROM, and another one is 4K byte of RAM. And we have to connect this memory. We have to connect this memory using the decoder, which is having some name, which is 74LS138. Now it works as a normal decoder, but there is some characteristic which is different from the normal decoder that we are going to see in very short time. But in this example we are asked to interface two memories. Okay, in any memory interfacing question we are going to solve this problem. We are going to solve the example using three main steps. In the first step we are going to draw all the components that are required. Okay, so in this example, how many components are required to be interfaced? Three components. There are two memories and one decoder. So in the first step we will draw all the components separately. Okay, so let's draw all the components separately. The one memory, it is a 8K byte of ROM. EEPROM, it is a one type of ROM. And the another memory is 4K byte of RAM. And one more component which is also asked to be interfaced, that is decoder. So let's draw the decoder. Now decoder is having three input pins. Decoder is having two enable and one VCC pin. So there is E1 bar, E2 bar and VCC. Now we have drawn these three main component. Okay, the decoder, it is having 3 input and it is also having 8 output because it is 3 to 8 decoder. If you notice, output is in bubble form. It means in the normal decoder, if you give some input, you will get high voltage, you will get high signal at only one pin. In this decoder you are going to get low signal at one pin. So logic is inversed. Okay, now the memory 8K byte of ROM and 4K byte of RAM. Now any memory which is to be interfaced with the microprocessor, it is having three main connection. There will be address bus, there will be data bus and there will be control signal and chip select. So these two memories will have some address bus. You can see that there will be some address bus. This memory will have some data bus. Again this memory 4K byte of RAM, again it will have some address bus. This memory will have data bus and this both memory will have some control signal and the chip select. Now always remember student, the control signal is totally dependent on which type of memory we are connecting. Right now in this case we are connecting ROM. So for the case of ROM there will be only one control signal that is available in the memory, which is read bar, because we can only read the ROM, and there will be one signal which is chip select. There will be two control signals that are present in the memory, which is read bar as well as write bar, because we read and write the memory, and there will be one chip select will be there in this memory. Now what is the meaning of chip select? chip select means that when active low signal is provided here, then and then processor can interact with this memory. Whenever this memory is enabled, whenever active low signal is given to this memory, then processor can interact with this memory, processor can send data and processor can read the data. Okay, so chip select must be there and processor can at a time communicate with only one memory. So first step is completed. What is the first step? First step is to draw all the components separately. Okay, now we are going to perform the second step. Hear me student. In the second step, we are going to draw a memory map table. Using the memory map, we can not only find starting and the ending address of one particular RAM, as well as we are going to find how many address lines are required for chip select. So in the second step, after drawing all components separately, we are going to perform a memory map table. So let's draw it. Okay students, now the memory map table is present on the board. You can see that in the memory map table, you can see different things such as address bus, which is A0 to A15. If you remember, for the microprocessor 8085, the length of the address bus is 16 bit. So A0 to A15 total 16 bit is there. Using the memory map table, we are going to find starting address and the ending address of 8 KB EEPROM, as well as starting address and the ending address of 4 KB RAM. Okay, to find the starting address and ending address for each chip, first thing you need to find is that how many address line is required for that particular chip. So let's find how many address line is required for 8 KB of EEPROM. Student, if you provide A0 to A9, it means total 10 address line. So 2 raised to 10, it means you can interface 1 kilobyte of RAM. So if you are connecting A0 to A9 using 10 address line, you can connect 1 KB of RAM. If you provide A0 to A10, means total 11, you can connect 2 raised to 11, it means you can interface 2 KB of RAM if you are connecting A0 to A10. If you are connecting A0 to A11, it means total 12 address line. So using this 12 address line, you can connect 4 KB of RAM. So you can clearly understand that to connect 4K RAM, we have to connect A0 to A11 to this memory. We will provide A0 to A11 in this memory, so we can access 4 KB of RAM. And for the 8 KB, we will connect A0 to A12, total 13 address line. So when we provide A0 to A12, we can interface 8 KB of ROM. So now you can clearly understand that how to find how many address lines are required. After finding the address lines which is required for particular chip, we can easily find the starting and the ending address of that particular chip. And to find the starting and ending address, we are going to follow one trick. The trick is, to find the starting address, we will set all the bits to 0, which is connected to the memory. So for the case of 8 KB ROM, how many address lines are connected? Address line A0 to A12 is connected for 8 KB EEPROM. So to find the starting address of EEPROM, we will set all the address lines which is connected to 8 KB EEPROM to 0. So we will set all the bits which is connected to 8 KB EEPROM, which is A0 to A12 to 0. 0, 0 and 0. To find the last address, we will set all the value of the address line which is connected to that particular memory to 1. So let's set all the lines to 1. So you can find this is how you can find the last address. Now I want to find the starting and the ending address of the 4K byte RAM. So to find the starting and the ending address of the 4K byte RAM, again we have to follow the same procedure. The first thing you need to find that how many address line is connected to 4K byte of RAM. How many address line is connected? A0 to A11. So for the starting address, we will set all the A0 to A11 to 0. and for the ending address we will set all the okay student. So the starting and the ending values are set. Now remember, the address lines which are never used for interfacing memory will be always connected to the chip select. Those lines will be connected to chip select logic and those lines will be connected to the decoder. So remaining lines which are never used will be always connected to decoder, and the use of those lines is to chip select. So how many address lines which are never used? A13, 14 and 15. So 13, 14 and 15 will be connected to chip select. One more thing that you need to understand, that the value of the remaining address line will be remain constant throughout one chip. What I am trying to say is the value of A13, 14 and 15 will remain constant for the starting address to ending address. So if I am setting 13, 14 and 15 0 0 0, so throughout the range, throughout the last address, the value of 13, 14 and 15 will be 0 for one memory, which is 8K EEPROM. If I want to find this and for the next memory, the value, now let's find for the 4 KB RAM, the concept remains same. The remaining lines, the value of the remaining lines will be same for one particular chip. So for the starting address of 4 KB RAM, the value of A13, 14 and 15 will be same, and for the ending address it will be also same. But the difference is that no two chip can have same value for the extra address line. So 000 is used for 8 KB chip, so we cannot use 000 for 4 KB. For 4 KB we will set different value, which is 001 and 001. Okay. Now after this thing is done, let's put this 2 value to 0. Now value of the 812 is not connected to the 4 KB RAM, so we can put any value we want. So the memory map is done. So now the second step is completed. What was the first step? First step was to draw different component. What was the second step? Second step to draw the memory map. In the third step, we will provide all the necessary connections using the memory map table. So let's provide all the connection. For the 8 KB of ROM, how many address line is required? So you can see that A0 to A12 is required. So let's connect address bus. Let's connect the address bus, which is A0 to A12. Now it is a 8K byte EEPROM. It means one location can store 8 bit of data. So size of the data bus will be D0 to D7. What will be the address line required for the 4K byte? It will be A0 to A11. You can see that A0 to A11 and D0 to D7 for the data bus. What is the control signal required here? Memory read. It means that the memory read control signal which is coming out of the microprocessor should be connected to here. So when processor send memory read control signal, this memory will be read. Here two control signal will be connected, the memory read as well as memory write. Okay. Now the chip select is remaining. I just told you that the address lines which are not provided to any memory will be connected to the chip select logic. So what is the remaining address line? A13, 14 and 15. So 13, 14 and 15 will be used for chip select, and for the chip select logic we are using the decoder. So remaining address lines will be always be connected to the decoder. So A13, A14 and 15 is connected to decoder. Now you can see that in the decoder there is a E1 bar, E2 bar and VCC. It means E1 and E2 should be connected to ground and this should be connected to 5 volt. If you want to work with any chip, there is some criteria that you have to provide to that chip. So you have to provide VCC and ground so that you can work with that chip. So we have satisfied the criteria which was required. Now students, we are providing 13, 14 and 15, 0, 0 and 0. We are providing A13, A14 and A15, 0, 0, 0. If we provide A13, 14 and 15, in which pin we are going to get active low signal? So we are going to get active low signal at this pin. Now if you see in the memory map, in which chip the value of A13, 14 and 15 is 0, 0, 0. So for the 8 KB EEPROM, the value of A13, 14 and 15 is 0, 0, 0 throughout the range. It means when the value of A13, 14 and 15 is 0, 0, 0, the output should be connected to the chip select of the 8K byte EEPROM. Are you getting it? And what if the value of 8, 13, 14 and 15 is 0, 0, 1. So if the value of 13, 14 and 15 is 0, 0, 1, in that case we are going to get signal at which pin? At the first pin. So output of the first pin will be connected to this chip select. Okay. So you can see that for the 4K byte of RAM, the value of A13, 14 and 15 is constant throughout the range. It means when the value of 13, 14, 15 is 0, 0, 1, this chip will be selected, and when it is 0, 0, 0, this chip will be selected. And the question of the memory interfacing is completed here. You can represent the value into hexadecimal also. So to represent, what will be the value? 0, 0, 0, 0 H 2 1 F F F H. So what is the range for 8K byte? 0, 0, 0, 0 H to 1 F F F H. What is the range for 4K byte? So 2 0 0 0 H to 2 F F F H. And this is how it's done. If you still have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. And this is it. Thank you so much.